Welcome to the CLS show. Marty Gallagher here with Brad tonight. We're moving along. I think
We're almost
kind of
done.
We're getting to that final stretch.
We just started, I thought. I know.
We waited for the snow for a while.
Yeah, and the
then
cold.
Again, the cold. And
Yep.
then now we're
in the month of
moving
August. We're getting rain finally in the month of August.
Yeah. We back up USA Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to be out there. Every time at that event, you figure out that there's still race car fans all over, and they love Cedar Lake Speedway.
Yeah,
I mean, you roll in on that Wednesday, a day before racing, and the campground. Everything is just packed. I mean, it's just the whole setup is fun. Like, you guys do a wonderful job of making sure the fans have a good time, and
Yep. Thank
I
you.
believe they did again this year for the
I hope so.
2023 version of the USA Nationals.
Everything from this year. The weather just cooperated just wonderfully for all 3 days. The fans were fantastic. We couldn't have been more happy. And right now, as it stands right now, I know that with the advanced sales for next year, I mean it was astronomical again. So we're really looking forward to next season as well. So. The format, I think everybody loved it. The drivers, the fans, the sponsors, you name it. It was fantastic. So we're going to stick with the same format that we had, racing Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday with the Knoxville Nationals point format.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, every driver has to race basically all 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. Also, our local late models, they really enjoyed it too. They put on a whale of a show every single night. So fantastic job. Kudos to them.
And I do like with the local late models, like you don't put them in a point format. They had 3 separate shows.
That's correct.
So it was nice because there was guys that maybe couldn't be there Thursday, couldn't be there.
Yep.
Like each night you picked up a car, maybe gained a car, lost. But anyways,
right.
You didn't have to pigeonhole yourself in the sense of like, hey, you got your late model, come out and race with us.
Right.
If you can be here all 3 days, great. If you can only be here one of the night, great. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And I thought that was a good way to run that format. And also, obviously, when we were saying with the Outlaws and having that, in the past, that Thursday night show was a set-alone show. Now that you have with the point system, it was some really good racing.
It was. Every night was phenomenal. Sitting here, you could say that, right? And everything. Every lap was definitely worth watching. That's for sure. I don't care if it was, like I said, the local late models or the traveling guys. Every race was fun to watch, whether it be, again, the heat races for the local guys, the qualifying, the actual heat races as well for the World of Outlaws. So it was really fun.
And we got to do the CLS show here. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. The CLS show, we were able to talk to some drivers in the pits on Thursday and Friday and got some good insight on Cedar Lake Speedway and everyone's travels, some local guys, some nationally traveling guys, and all of them obviously show their love for Cedar Lake Speedway, and that's why they're there.
You made quite a few rounds through the pits there. You talked to Bobby Pierce, the eventual winner of the USA Nationals, and that's posted on our YouTube page. And
it's always fun. It's like anything. It's racing wise. It's fun to get down to the pits and talk to the drivers if it's before or after the races. And it was like you said, the weather was great, everything was great, and you guys are lining up for the 37th annual USA Nationals in next year.
Right on. Yep, absolutely.
Go ahead. We had not an off weekend. The track was still up and running. It might not have had true racing. Mm-hmm. There was a little bit of a destruction, a little bit of tractor pulling.
Yeah, we had a demo derby and a truck pull. That was this past weekend. That went fairly well. So that went off this past weekend. It's basically after the weekend of the USA Nationals. Boy, it's that weekend after, boy, that it really sees that the I wouldn't say the fans and the drivers don't show up, because there's some drivers that haven't been around racing that track for a while. The super stocks haven't driven there. The modifieds and the Midwest modifieds, so they haven't been around. USRA limited late models haven't raced there for a while, so they could have definitely pulled up the slack on that race event, but on that race weekend. But we decided to try something again new. Worked with a couple of different promoters, whatever else, and trying to get that event up and running. So we are still exploring what we're going to do next year. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've been communication with one of the promoters again. He wants to put on another event maybe in the month of October.
Yeah. That
might be pending. I don't know yet. I haven't worked on the details with that yet, so I got to talk to them about that. But that may be coming up here shortly as well.
And knowing you, Brad, here, and the rest of the staff at Cedar Lake Speedway, they work you all work very hard during those USA Nationals. It's not just a 3-day deal for you guys. It is a week-long deal.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you guys have always tried to like find like, okay, the week after the USA Nationals, let's find something that can like maybe give some of our employees a break, but also still bring in some fans. And I know all of your employees are still there working hard and stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's kind of a little bit of variety. You've done the EVA destruction type stuff before in the past.
Yeah.
Or obviously this time you've done the truck pull and the demolition derby. I think it's kind of a fun weekend to just, hey, let's try something.
Right. It's just something different that we, it's like kind of like our bus race we have in the springtime. It's just something different. So that's why we try to do that on that date. So, and for this next weekend we have our regular dash race. And then the following weekend. So I'm just going to pick out. This weekend is August 19th. So by the time you see this, it might be already passed. I'm not certain if we'll get this posted by then or whatever else. But the weekend after, though, I've got to put on my cheaters because of my young age here. August 26th, it's also a dash race, but it's also Fan Appreciation Day. This is a big day for us as well. It's a season championship where we also do this. We give free T-shirts and, yes, corn on the cob to all of our fans that come in the grandstands. And it's where we got the late models, modifieds, super stock, Midwest modifieds, and as well as the traditional sprint cars, as well as the USRA late models. So that's quite a few classes. What is that? Six classes of cars on that night. So that'll be a busy night.
Wrap up the month of August doing
that's
that,
right.
And then we roll in the first part of September, like always, and it's been for so many years. You guys have the weekend off. Everyone go spend some time with their family or go race a different racetrack or whatever, because then we gear up for the last couple of races of the season. So September 2nd, there's nothing else.
We're not racing.
Speedway.
Nope, we're not racing. Nope. And the following weekend, though, is right after Labor Day. We have the Richert Memorial. We've done that for, it says here on my schedule, 23 years. I believe that's probably correct. The Jerry Richert Memorial's race, that's with the IRA 410s that come out of southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. I kind of call that's their stomping grounds.
Yeah.
So they're coming up on Saturday, September 9th. And then, of course, to kind of bring everything together, we have the Legendary 100, which is in the middle of September, 14th, 15th, and 16th. The one caveat this year is that we run 10 classes, I think, of cars on that weekend every single night. It's qualifying times, and then you run a feature for the first two nights, that Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we kind of have some B mains and last chance qualifiers, and then your final A main. But one thing that we're going to have to kind of stipulate here is that I just want to make sure that everybody knows and hears it from the horse's mouth here. The super stocks will not be part of our program this year, unfortunately. It's just due to the fact that we did sanction with WISSOTA our super stock class this past year, and by doing so, we had to kind of negotiate a little bit, and they wanted to make sure that the super stocks were going to be going to Fergus Falls, and so I said that was basically what we had to do in order to make that work for us.
And obviously part of the super stocks and was sort of sanctioned for you guys is to help out with the tire situation for some of your classes.
Yep.
Is one of the reasons why you guys decided to do this year, to help out other drivers in other divisions at
Midwest modifieds, you name it. Yeah, in order to get tires and whatever else, and to make sure that everybody was happy at our racetrack. You've seen other racetracks do it too. Eagle Valley, I think, sanctioned something. Some other tracks had sanctioned some other classes. So with WISSOTA, so that's why we all essentially did that for that main reason. So again, I'm sorry the super stock drivers and their families and their fans that want to come out to Cedar Lake this year. You're still welcome to. Unfortunately, you just can't race. So.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool. The format, obviously, like you said, we have 10 divisions.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday of that middle of September, where it's always been that time in the Legendary 100, middle of September all the time. Yeah. Back up that week to the Memorial race there for the Richert. That race is, it's you got some talent comes into town for that one. Knoxville's done. Mm-hmm. IRA obviously brings in their guys. You got obviously some other series throughout the country run their races, but I think it always seems like there's drivers that are trying to up and coming, like, hey, I can swing into Cedar Lake Speedway and try to grab a checkered flag. Or you also got the guy that's been like, you know what, this is my weekend that I haven't won a race all year, and I've been racing now 10 years in a row, and I'm going to swoop in and grab that checkered flag. And just the whole environment, it's always a very fun time.
It is a fun time. The Richert family has been a strong supporter of this race. They jam pack the entire VIP suite upstairs of our front stretch. It's, I'm sure it's well north of 120, 130 people basically up there. And then we have a lot of, unique things with, fireworks and honoring the Richert family, of course. And then, we have a little get together down in the pits.
Yeah, I was going to say after at the end of the night.
Yep.
If you're hungry after the end of the night, you go down to their area, you're going to get fed very, very well. And that's happened year after year for the Richert Memorial. And then we get kind of wrapping up to the end of the season, and we have a couple more events after the 100.
Yep. So after the 100, so that again, the 100 is on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of September. The 23rd of September is then the following Saturday. That's when we run our $10,000 to win enduro. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty popular event. We usually get about 60 to 75 cars or so for that event. We haven't ever hit our 120 mark that we've always kind of want to anticipate getting. Yeah. But that's okay. We're fine with that. This is, that's more than enough cars to run on that deal. And again, that's anybody can go put together a compact front wheel drive car. I don't care. It's got to be a 4-cylinder. It's got to be stock. Yeah. But you got to take all the glass out. The first year that one guy won, he bought a Ford Escort out of a junkyard. I think he paid $300, and he did get $10,000 the very first year. So that was awesome. But that's happening on September 23rd. And then finally, the end of the year is what we call the Arrive and Drive on the last weekend of September, September 30th. And that's where, if you are interested in actually driving a car, you can actually, do that. You can actually come out to the racetrack, pay a driver that's there, that's bringing his car or her car for you to use, and you get to put some laps on a race car, on a real race car, and do that all day on Saturday. This year is going to be a little bit different though, because at the end of that evening or that afternoon, we're going to run a full program of racing. So we're going to have
last race of the year at
that's
Cedar
right.
Speedway.
And so to the super stocks that of course are probably watching this and they're all angry, we did add them to that last race on Saturday, September 30th. So hopefully that would help suppress some of that disappointment maybe.
Looking at the season so far, obviously you said we've had a long, fun season. Is there anything highlights-wise that you look back on the last month, 2 years, like, wow, that was amazing, or anything that you're like, hey, for you fans, next time you come out, please don't do that, or, whatever. Just your thoughts of the year.
I think, the more we get, having the racetrack now for 23 years, it's been, you learn a lot. A lot of things repeat themselves and everything. I'm just more enthused by, I love the people that come out there and camp.
Yeah.
And that's something that if you've never been to Cedar Lake, you can come out to the racetrack and camp. It's it's $10 a day, so who cares? The one thing though is I don't have any kind of electrical or water hookups, so you're kind of on your own there. So you have to bring your own generator, bring your own water. But for basically just coming out to the racetrack and just coming out there and just camping for a whole entire weekend or something like that, and get to watch racing, I think it's kind of fun. The one thing I loved about the USA Nationals is that there's a group coming down from Alexandria. There's groups coming down from all over the country, and it's just really fun to it's almost like a family reunion every year to go meet them and see them and talk about stuff, see what's new, what's going on with people. And this year even a lot of racers too. I thought was interesting too. We were talking about this all night tonight. There were a lot of racers that didn't even race on the USA Nationals weekend because they just want to sit and camp and just have fun with their families.
Yeah.
I mean, it's becoming quite almost like a country fest or something like that. So where you go there and just hang out and you enjoy people and you get to have fun and hang out. And people have brought a big pool this year, which was interesting. You were on that on a couple of interviews there. So, but yeah, so just fun.
Well, thanks again, Brad. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
CLS show. Like and subscribe there on YouTube. It's been a fun season. We still got a few more weeks left and a couple more shows.
Are we going to
left.
do more of this?
I think we'll do more shows.
Okay, all right.
And this isn't the last one. And we obviously got some more races to recap coming up here to finish up the 2023 season here at Cedar Lake Speedway and the CLS show.